Hello and welcome to part 9. We're going to take a look at the fetch command, which downloads the changes from the remote repository into your local repository, sometimes called a safe pull. So let's take a look at what's going on here. So these people may have made some changes and pushed that to the remote repository, and then this guy here, he wants to maybe include those changes into his own code. So he will make a fetch command or request, and the changes will go into his local repository, and he can then inspect those changes before he merges them back into his own workspace, the actual code he's working on. So that's the safe part. It sort of lands here in the middle, instead of just going directly into your code, so you can just inspect what's going on first. So that means you first do a fetch, and then you get all the commits from the remote to the local. I believe it's just within the branch you're working, but I'm not actually entirely sure. Maybe it's sort of everything. So the fetch is a bit vague to me how that actually works, but we'll see how it goes. You can make a diff, sort of compare the stuff that you just fetched and compare that to the working code you have locally, and then if you are happy with that, then you can merge the remote changes into your local code. This is actually a checkout I just figured out. So let's give it a go and see how that works out. So I have GitHub here, and I'm looking at this main menu handler, and I have IntelliJ. Maybe we can do a side by side here. We can compare. And what I want to do is I need to have something changed over here so that I can fetch it and compare it to my local version and then take it into my code. And I can just edit things directly here, and I'll just make, so this is what is being displayed in my main menu. You can add and update, and you can delete a review. And maybe you want to also be able to see reviews like that. Add options for delete and see reviews to main menu. So close. But I have used the and, so usually that means I'm committing too much. I'll make a hack, doesn't matter. Commit changes. Okay, so my remote repository is updated and my local repository is sort of behind. And I want to take this into my local repository and then compare and then pull that code into my own. So we can go here to Git, and I can make a fetch, and we can see it's fetching, and fetching successful. And there may be easier ways of doing this, but I'm not entirely sure. So I go to git log, and we can see all the branches here. The yellow one, the purple, is the main branch, which was created on GitHub, and the brown one is the master branch created from IntelliJ, and we can see the history of those. Not entirely sure what's going on here, but anyway, this is the latest one. Add options for delete. Alright, and let me just make this a bit bigger, and we can go over here to the right, and I can see all the changes for that commit, which is just one file, and I can compare with local, and we can see my version. So this is my local version, and this is the remote version, and we can see the commit ID. So if I want to take this, I think this is okay. That's code that I want to put over to mine. Or I can actually click here, accept. Okay, because otherwise I would go here and say check out revision. But let's see what happens here. And that's just updated. Okay, so I took from, well, I had my remote, I fetched it into my local repository, and then I made an accept of the changes. I guess it's a checkout that we make, because I can check out. So I made a checkout to pull those changes from my local repository into my workspace. Yeah, so I think that's it for the fetch. The point is just that you can do this halfway step like this. We made the fetch, and we then inspected the changes now in our local repository, and eventually we made a merge into my workspace. So that should be it for the fetch, and thank you for watching.